plagues that supposedly happened in Egypt that God sent upon the Egyptians to help teach them a lesson. Do you think these have really happened, or is there a certain one that has more relevance, or what's your take on all that?
It's a great question, and it's something that we should really think about more carefully. When we sit at our Seder tables, and when you lead your Seder, there's going to come a point where we're going to have the 10 plagues, and the rabbis are not only going to be satisfied with the 10 plagues, but they're going to begin to build on them. How many plagues? Well, God had 10 fingers, so is it really 100 plagues? And that gets up to 250 plagues, and it becomes sort of a word puzzle as to how they put this whole thing together. Well, what really happened there, and how do we really understand it? We sort of like the Cecil B. DeMille version, right? The Ten Commandments, where we see it, and it's like unmistakable that these plagues were taking place. But was it really unmistakable? Some would say that the 10 plagues were really the uncreation. So in other words, the first 3 plagues take place in the water. The second 3 plagues take place on the land. The third third of the plagues take place in the air.
Sure.
So it's a way of God saying, I'm the creator, and all of these elements are now turning against you. Pharaoh, you think you're a god? I'm the only God. So we understand the idea within the Bible itself, and as you said, it was the ultimate lesson to the Egyptians. Did it really happen that way is another question. There are those who study and say, look, the Nile River, for instance, has a red clay bottom. If there's a drought and the water line goes down, the water turns reddish and it becomes undrinkable. And so when it becomes undrinkable and the density of the water is such that animals can't live, frogs come out of the water looking for food, right? Animals drink the water, they can die from that. And then you have infestations. Locusts do come into Egypt. Eclipses are not out of the question. So you could explain almost all of the plagues, except for the 10th plague, as natural phenomena.
Sure.
That's a question of faith. Is God acting in history? What did the Israelites see happening? What did the Egyptians see happening? And when you come to the last plague, the Israelites are asked to make a choice. Are you going to stand with God, or are you going to stand with these Egyptian gods? Because they have to take a lamb, which was an object of worship in Egypt, and slaughter the lamb and place the blood of the lamb on their doorposts so that the angel would pass over their homes, right?
Correct.
Now you imagine what it's like for an Israelite to do that within Egypt. It's making a full break with your past and saying, I'm embracing this God. So it is a lesson that the Israelites learned well. How well the Egyptians will learn that lesson is a whole other story. But the fact is that you can explain them through natural phenomena. How do I, as a modern, understand it? I believe that God acts in history. And I'm not tied to whether it happens exactly the way the Torah describes it, but I believe that things happened at that time that gave the Israelites the faith and courage to go forward. And if it revolves around God as creator, all the better. And so there is the idea of a national myth that I subscribe to and celebrate. And, for me, it is as if it happened. Yeah. And I live with that faith.